Hello and welcome back to the Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan. And today's guest, this is someone who's been a part of my life for, I feel like more than 8 years, 8, 9, 10 years now. And I want you all to meet him. It's my friend, Gogo Lomo-David. He's an incredible, talented actor who you might have recognized from the HBO's The Righteous Gemstones or Showtime's Shameless, two ginormous shows. He's also done amazing voiceover work and has been the backup narrator for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. But honestly, beyond all of his professional work, Gogo is just one of those guys who he just becomes family the moment you meet him. We've been through so much together, and I feel like I see him probably like once a year. And I'm just so excited for you all to get to know him in the way that I do. So Gogo, welcome to the show, my friend.
Here's 10,000. Please try and make it last.
Just can't let you beat, can you? You're gonna run whatever's left of our empire into the dirt.
When I win top Christ following man, you'll see. Oh, you'll all see.
You are a straight white male. Your kind don't get awards anymore. Or are you straight? Never had a girlfriend, sweetie pie.
Don't you dare insinuate such filth. Now, Christ Almighty is on my side. How many goddamn times do I need to fucking say it?
Extra for you. I want to introduce you to none other than the professional football player, Greg Olson.
Okay, here we are. Oh my gosh. Gogo, again, thank you so much for your time, for your attention, your tutelage. Just being your friend has been nothing but your presence is this is like me giving you your flowers, but like your presence is something that is unforgettable. Something that whenever someone is in your presence, you just have a magnetism that also like reflects back to that person. So you don't let that person leave your space without letting them know you got it too. You got it,
Listen,
brother.
come on with the introduction. We
You
love
it's the
that.
truth. It's the truth. I mean, that's just who you are, and I'm grateful for it. So I just wanted to start out with that gratitude because you didn't have to do this. You didn't, you could have stayed in your room and stayed in your house and just gone about your business. So I'm thankful for you. I want to start off at the beginning, where all great stories begin. Gogo, Lomo, David, wow, a name, a king, guys, huge. You're. This is what I'm gonna do my Jay Leno impression. Is that like what I know about you, right? So you grew up in Pennsylvania.
I was born in Pennsylvania and I grew up in North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina is where it all started. My mom is a playwright and she put me in plays when I was young. And my dad is a educator. Both of them are educators actually. And
Mm,
so I was always surrounded by creative people. And even though my dad never pursued acting, he definitely is an actor. One of the
mm.
things he likes to say when he goes into his classroom, he goes into the class, the first day of class, and he's Nigerian. So he'll say, and students, please don't allow your grandmother to die 1,000 times in a semester. That's how he'll like start his first day because students will come and say, "Oh, my grandmother died, and they need to retake this test." And like, how many grandmothers do you have? Like, how many do you have? Okay, I thought you only had two, maybe three. It's a step.
Right.
So my dad's definitely very comical. He definitely is full of all the jokes, and my mom as well. So it really was in my blood. And
Yeah.
the name Gogo is Nigerian. I'm named after my uncle who is such a wonderful man. He is a reverend, still alive in his 80s in Nigeria.
Wow.
I've had the honor of meeting him when I'm going down to Nigeria. So that's where Gogo comes from. So that is just a little bit of the beginning, if you will.
Yes. And what does Gogo mean?
Gogo means junior. Yes, or namesake.
Gogo. And then Lomo, Gogo Lomo.
So Lomo means sunny, like it's sunny outside. And then David is slayer of giants.
God, what a name. I hope, and I know you do. I know whenever in your slates and you say your full name, that casting director, associate, a producer, director just can't help but just feel the force of nature that is you and that is your name and that God has blessed you with. Wow. So theatrical family, just Nigerian group around Nigerian mom, Nigerian dad, like
Actually, well, my
I'm
mom's from
sure everyone.
Mississippi. My mom's from Mississippi. My dad's from
Oh,
Nigeria. So I'm truly African American. I
let's go.
literally am that.
And you already know just the way we are as people. We so many stories, so much energy in that family. I feel like you're laughing more than anything. We can make a joke out of everything. We can turn anything around. There's almost like an eternal sunshine, an eternal optimism. We've come so far to get to where we are. We can spin it around.
Yeah.
And so Gogo, again, like you're such a versatile person, human being. You're an actor, a host, a comedian, like improvisational podcaster. You've conquered commercials, voiceover, plays, theater, TV, film, short film, big screen, silver screen, everywhere. You're so trained. You're so trained. You've graced the screens, and you've shared the screen with huge William H. Macy, Nonzo Anozi from CBS, the dramatic CBS series Zoo, right? Danny McBride, Adam Devine, Stephen Dorff, right? In the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like a working actor?
I definitely feel like a working actor. And I think that even when you are not making the money that you want to be making, you're still working.
Yes.
And I think
Wow.
there's different levels of working actor. There's the financially stable working actor, and then there's the financially seeking
Mm,
working actor. And then you just have the abundant, working actor. Because a lot, even when you think about the big stars, they may do one or two movies, a year, and that may take them 3 or 6 months to do it, and the rest of that time they're actually unemployed. Now, mind you, they're making a large sum of money,
right.
for their time. And so even where I am in my career, there's such a focus on how you spend your time, because when you are not actually working on set, you should be working on something. Hey,
Mm.
hey, that's a bar right there. That came straight from the ether. Okay.
Amen.
And so that is where the work comes in, because you don't want to be caught not ready for the opportunity that's going to present itself when it does present itself. And a lot of times when the audition comes, that's not when the preparation begins. It begins when you've been in the gym, you've been working
Wow.
on your scene stuff, you've been working on your improv, or you've been out talking to different people. All of it because we have out experiencing life. Because in order for us to show life as actors, we have to go
Mm.
live life as people.
Yes. And so that brings me to I want to talk specifically about Shameless and about the Righteous Gemstones,
Okay.
right? What was the preparation for both of those roles specifically for you? You've been training before you even get the email. Hey, this role, William H. Macy, or this role, Danny McBride, Adam Devine, Righteous Gemstones. What begins in your mind before you hit record in your self tape?
Yeah, so if we want to go back to Shameless, Shameless was an in-person audition.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did Shameless in 2019. And
Mm,
so that was when people still went in person for theatrical auditions. And it's a different energy when you go in person for a theatrical. Of course, commercials are still in person now, but most theatrical auditions now are self tapes. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're auditioning for something bigger, then maybe there's a chemistry, maybe there's a screen test. Those still kind of happen just depending on what the situation is. But Shameless, that casting director, I was allowed to go in because they were looking for a Nigerian actor. They wanted someone that could do the accent. They wanted someone that could appear to be rich and regal and all those things.
Come on.
And so when my manager pitched me to that casting director, saying that he's literally that, I'm from Nigeria, I have that heritage, and so they invited me to come audition. And so when I showed up there, and here's the part about showing up. So
Mm.
about maybe less than a month before I had that audition, I was in Express, which does not exist anymore as far as brick and mortar because they're now bankrupt and they're only online. But back then, back in the day, you could go into an Express. And
Yes.
so there was these really nice pair of dress shoes, and I believe they may have been, I don't know, $150. And at that time, I wasn't a full time working actor financially at that time, so money was not growing off trees.
Mm-hmm.
It still is not today, but it was in a different. So I was in a different space financially at that time. But I
I believe
said, "Oh, I'm going to get these shoes because I love them and they're calling out to me." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm going to buy these shoes. I'm making these investments. These are nice shoes. I'm gonna make this investment." So I bought the shoes, and so then, I don't know if I had even worn them yet. But when the Shameless audition came around and I saw what they were looking for, they wanted a rich Nigerian. I said, "Oh, I must wear these shoes.
you must.
These are the shoes that I need to wear." Because they were those shiny shoes, like the type of shoes that you will only rent when you're putting on a tuxedo going to a wedding or you're in a
Ah.
wedding. So those really nice shoes, I said, those, that's what I need. And so I had Nigerian attire because my father had given me different outfits over the years, and so the Nigerian attire was already there. And I was in purple. It was like a purple striped dashiki type situation. I had dress
Yes.
pants and I had those shoes. So I get to the audition. Of course, I prepare the role. I learned the lines and all of those things. That preparation of how to create a character, all that stuff took place before I got to the
Yes.
audition because of course I'm auditioning in person. So I don't want to gloss over that fact that I literally learned my lines and was off book and was ready to step into this role. And a part of that is the wardrobe. So I get in
Mm-hmm.
there, I do my thing, and it goes very well. And the casting director said to me after he looked at my shoes, he said, "I like those shoes." And I said, "This role is mine." Okay. And one of those things, and I talk about this in my podcast, and I talk about when you see signs. And my podcast partner Natasha Young, she asked me, "Gogo, how do you know that so and so such and such is a sign?" And I said, "It's a sign because I decide it's a sign." And that's really what it comes down to. I decide something is a sign, therefore it is. This is a sign
Wow.
that I'm going to book this role. And when the cast director said, "I like those shoes," I said, That's right. That was all the sign that I needed. That
Yes.
role is mine. And so I booked that role. And after that audition, I did one audition, then I booked it, and then I was on set a couple weeks later.
Now, was that the same? What's the story now with the Righteous Gemstones, right?
So what'd you say?
Now, what was your sign with the Righteous Gemstones?
Okay, so the Righteous Gemstones, that's a deeper story. So with the Righteous Gemstones, that particular time before I got the audition, I was working a catering shift. So my side career has been working in private catering. I still do it today, just not as much because
Right.
the hustle continues,
Yes.
just in a different way. But I was at a catering shift, and shout out to my friend Tamiko. I talk about her in the podcast. But Tamiko, I was talking to Tamiko, and she was saying how she loves to work with her actor friends, help them with auditions. So while I was there, I got an audition for the Righteous Gemstones. While I got the notification while I was at that shift with my friend, and I said, "Oh, well, you say you like to work with actors. Well, let's go ahead. I got an audition. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna come on and do this audition at your place." And so that Sunday, I went to her place to record the audition. And so we rehearsed it. I got all the outfits together. I'm really big on what the outfit is going to be.
Come on.
That especially with these certain characters, that it informs how I'm going to play the role. And so with that character in Gemstones, my family owns a church, and so I put on Sunday's best. And one thing I did do in the audition is I had two different scenes, so I had two different outfits.
Oh,
So I changed it up in that way. So me and Tamiko, we rehearsed the scene, got it together, taped it, and she gave me some great notes. And one thing I'll say with a reader for all my actor friends, if you can have somebody in person, over Zoom is cool. That if that's all you can do, that's fine. But if you can have somebody in person where you can really, especially with comedy, because Zoom likes to lag. Okay, Zoom doesn't like that comedic timing, and when you're doing
right.
comedy, timing is so important. So make the investment and get your reader to be there in person. It is important, it's needed, and it's necessary.
Come on.
So we worked that scene, and I auditioned the way I auditioned for that particular, because it was a guest starring role. I auditioned like I was a series regular, which meant that the scene was mine. That's how I auditioned. Now, what happened after I did the audition? I was told it was sent to producers, and at that point in time, I already knew that was already signed right there. So it got sent to producers, and then I got a redirect because this is a self tape. Because now this is post COVID, so now we're in self tape land. They sent me a redirect and told me to bring it down, like bring energy down, bring it, make it more grounded, and I did because I wasn't a series regular, I was a guest star. And one thing, and now this is my little secret to my actor friends, is that when you are auditioning for a guest starring role, you don't have to be great, you just have to be good. And what I mean by that is you have to have the potential for greatness in you and be able to do that. But you have to be good, meaning that the series regulars are the stars. They are the LeBron, and you are passing them the ball.
Wow.
And when you realize that, it takes the pressure off. Like, I don't have to, this is not my show. I'm just playing in someone else's show. So you just have to kind of know where you fit in. And that's really what that second audition was about, for me to find my groove in amongst these other great actors. And that's what I did. I did the redirect, I brought it back down, and I delivered that scene in that very grounded way, and a little more reserved. And it went very well. And then started the negotiation process, and them asking about my schedule, because I was already doing something else, and so we had to kind of negotiate with my time. But I will say one of the signs that happened was during that time I had I had run into Niecy Nash. Shout out to Niecy Nash Betts,
Shout out to Niecy
and
Nash.
I was and that she had brought her daughter to the Women in Power event, and I was there working the event, and it was her daughter's birthday, Dia, and so I sang Happy Birthday to Dia. And so Niecy Nash recorded it on her phone. And so during the time of when I was waiting to hear back from Gemstones, Niecy Nash posted that on her TikTok. And that was a sign. Because not only do I have a Emmy Award winning actress recording me, like she's recording me, okay, and putting me on her social media platform. And and all of that was letting me know that I had come to another level, that I had ascended to another level, and that what was around me is for me. So that's how that process went with Righteous Gemstones, and I did end up booking it, and we worked out my schedule so that I could do both the project because I was at the time I was about to start rehearsal with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which is a rock Christmas orchestra, and I needed them to allow me to stay in Charleston a little longer so I could finish shooting all of my scenes, and it all worked out.
God, 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 God. Gogo, the Giant Slayer. My God. This is amazing. How do you see roles? How did you see it and how do you see it now? Roles that you were not picked for, that you wanted, that you were like, I want this. Are you kind of like, you're at the point where you're like, okay, if it's not for me, it's not for me? Or are you truly, like upset about it? In hindsight, how do you take, I don't want to say rejection, but how do you take that? No, it's not your role when you've wanted it and you've put in the work. How do you see the rejection?
Yeah, when it comes to rejection, when it comes to not getting something, you have to, the mental health of actors is the most important thing. And that's what you have to train on. You have to train on having a very strong mental mindset to be able to let stuff go. Because it's okay to mourn and to be sad for a moment, but don't linger in it because you have work to do.
Mm.
And I think that's been the biggest shift for me because usually when I audition for something, I don't have time to linger on it because I have to audition for something else. I have more work to do.
Love.
So I don't think about it. I put my all into it and release it and let it go. And then now I have something else to focus on. One thing that I also love to do, especially with commercial auditions, is I'll do my audition and everything, and then I'll go do something that brings me joy. Like I'll go play some tennis. And I think
Mm.
that's my mental health helper is I do things that bring me joy. Because if you do things that bring you joy, more things of joy will come to you. So
Ah, shalabaso, shalaha.
that's really the key there. That honestly really is the key is to do things that bring you joy because your value or your worth is not tied to a yes or a no. It's tied to what you know who you are.
Ah, talk.
Yeah.
Do you? This just brings me back to the parents of actors. How have your parents guided and spearheaded you, both as an adult and as a performer, as an actor, and making this your profession? Have they? I'm sure they've been praying for you, covering you. How how do they plant seeds in your life as an actor to this day? And black parents, African parents, parents in general who are parents of actors, they want the best and most. They want the best and the most for their child,
Yeah.
right? How do you see them encouraging you, having real conversations with you? What does that lifestyle look like as a son to your parents who are actors in their own right, but they're seeing you pursuing it and all of the complexities that come and surround that.
Of course, when I was growing up, my mom told me that when I was in her stomach, that God said he was going to make my name great. And that was one of the things that she always told me growing up. So I always believed in myself because that was what I was told as a child. And my dad, being Nigerian, there is a certain pride that comes with being Nigerian. And that was instilled in me that it is about being the best. And so there was that expectation of being the best. And so, of course, that's also a lot of pressure for anyone. And I think you realize going forward that pressure is a privilege. When you are in a position to be in a situation where you have pressure, that means that people believe in you to be able to perform underneath that pressure. And that is kind of how I was raised. And I also, because of my parents and who I am, I didn't take life too seriously, and I still don't. Like, life is just a game, and we're operating in different systems. And once you figure out the game that you're in, you can figure out how to work it,
Mm.
how to work it. And I think that also takes the pressure off, and also not doing comparative analysis. That's big in our culture, just in our culture today, where it's like with Instagram and different things, you start comparing yourselves or comparing your success or comparing your bank account or whatever the case
Talk,
may be.
talk.
And I think with my parents, it was you are meant to stand out and stand alone. And there was no comparison to you because there's only one Gogo Lomo-David the second, and that's me. And once you realize the greatness within you, that's when people will realize the greatness that's on you. But you have to see it first for yourself. You have to believe it first for yourself. And then that belief will externally be seen and felt and heard and experienced.
Y'all, we didn't prepare none of this, guys. This is Gogo, off the cuff, living in his greatness, speaking life. Whoever watched this is Lord, they're gonna be forever changed, as I am right now. They're going, oh God. Gogo, let's move into the next chapter, right? You mentioned how you were, I like your shoes, and you knew, ooh, that's another open door. That's an elevation. You're in a new season now, and you're walking out of that season and into a new one right now. What what is that conversation that you can share that you're having with Christ and with yourself? What is next for you? What is next that you are praying for, manifesting, writing down, journaling? What is this next chapter look like for you? What's the next door that you know is the door that you're going to be walking into for the next chapter in your career?
Yeah, you just hit on something so important. And you talked about planning and writing things down. And that is so key because you have to write down the things that you want.
Make it
And
plain.
that is how things, you have to write it down, make it plain. And that's something that I'm working on right now is writing down the next set of goals. Of course, I already set some stuff for the year. Of course, that a lot has to do with my podcast and continuing to grow that space. And of course, there are some people I want to work with. Ryan Coogler, who's doing X Files. That is definitely on my radar to be a part of that project. So writing down the different goals, and we're talking about in the small achievable goals that are like quarterly goals. Like, what am I doing
Mm-hmm.
for this quarter? Because that's what makes life fun. When you write down little goals and you can accomplish those things, and that grows your faith. That's how you grow your faith, by setting goals that are realistic for you. Now, what's realistic for me may not be realistic for you because it's a different level. Because the bigger the goal for you, the bigger the faith that you need. And then once you get past that, you realize there is nothing big or small because
Mm.
God can conquer all.
Whew.
What? Wait a minute.
Hasharagosharabahe.
Wait a minute. When you realize that everything that we want to God is like a little speck of dust. It's
Wow.
nothing. It's nothing to him. It's
Uh,
nothing. We create these things that are, oh, this is so big, this is so large. And therefore you make it so big and so large, and so you make it unattainable for yourself because you've now separated yourself from the thing that is that you want. When in actuality, it is as simple as just breathing. It is as simple as that. And when you can get into that level of faith and belief, then you'll see things just continue to operate in your life. And that comes with practice. You have to practice those faith steps. Faith steps that I made back in 2013 when I graduated college are still paying dividends today.
You gonna. I don't know what. Go. I know it may not be the next quarterly goal, but in there you if you haven't already, you're writing another book because you just are. You are. No
Yeah.
questions after that. Just you are. I don't know if it's gonna be called faith steps, but you're gonna be stepping into faith on writing that books that are within you. Cause you is too effortless. You're not gonna leave this earth full. You're gonna leave all kinds of empty.
Mm.
Like God's put a lot in there, a lot in there, and the screen can't hold it, film can't hold it, TV can't hold it. It's yeah, yeah. That's God's got that for you. Cause my 24.95 is ready to pre-order right now.
Come on. You said you hit on something really important that I wanted to share is that I see myself as an entertainer. Like I'm not just an actor. I am in the area of entertainment, and that is
Yes.
in all forms and facets. And it's so fun to not limit yourself. Now, there are people that see themselves as actors and are that, and are very good at that. And when you are multi hyphenate, you then have to decide what is going to be the focus because you can have it all, just not all at once, because you do have to focus on one thing at a time and accomplish that
Hmm.
thing and then move on to the next goal. I think that's the key piece in accomplishing anything in life is that okay, you have all the things that you want. That's great. What's the thing you want right now?
Right.
What's going to bring the highest good to the people around you right now? And that's the thing that you focus on. So
Yes.
yes, I'm very excited to do some book stuff, and that is something that's in a work in conjunction with some other projects that are already happening right now. So I'm excited, and you're hitting the nail on the head. So I am excited to release more and to do more. And when you are in a space where you can flourish, it is such a beautiful place to be in. And I'm so grateful to see the different steps of my life, and and it's very apparent that I'm in a new phase because I remember when I was an Uber driver for 4.5 years, did
Hmm.
almost 10,000 trips. I remember when I was
Wow.
doing 22 events a month in
Oh.
catering, and now I do 3, 4, 5 events a month, and the rest is, acting. So and then it comes from me doing a couple of commercials that pay for you know months of my life if not more, and then there's a TV show, then there's the voiceover. So it all kind of just builds on each other, and then there's a video game. I do have a video game coming out. I don't know if I told you this. I didn't, but I'm in the new NBA 2K that's coming out in September. uh,
Huh?
so that is also happening as well.
Let God provide for
Come
you.
on, come on.
Let him provide. He's father.
Yes. So I am beyond excited about all the things that are happening. And yeah, that's something that I want to just remind people that you don't have to limit yourself. All you have to do is
Hmm.
just be yourself.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today right now just to give you thanks and honor. God's so good. Go. Wow, you've given me so many gems. Thank God that you are connected to the Holy Spirit and He's just downloading, and you are have so much faith to use your voice box to say the things, and so just thank you for whoever this podcast comes to. The words that you are saying right now in these past 44 minutes is lives are being changed right now. Gogo, I don't want to take too much more of your time because I know we could go all day long. I don't know. Are you familiar? I want to do something. I do this. I'm trying to bring this back into this podcast, the industry podcast. Are you familiar with James Lipton?
James Lipton from Inside the Actor Studio. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. I love James Lipton. I mean, James Lipton, I was 12 years old on the couch like, okay, like that. Whatever you doing, sirs, I want to do that. And
Yeah.
so in memory of James Lipton, I want to do the last few questions that he gives to every talented person that graces the Pace University Actors Studio MFA program stage. In rapid fire, these are the questions that James Lipton has for you.
Okay.
Gogo, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word. My favorite word is, well, it's a phrase, in la biblioteca, which is in the library.
En la biblioteca.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite word?
Busy.
Heard. Gogo, what turns you on?
Passionate people.
Gogo, what turns you off?
People with self-doubt.
Gogo, what sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of my customized ringtones for my friends.
Gogo, what sound or noise do you hate?
I don't hate anything, but I don't appreciate the sound of uh like when you scratch the chalkboard, that sound. I
Mm.
don't appreciate that sound.
I think they're going extinct because of that reason.
Yes.
Gogo, what is your, if you use profanity, what is your favorite curse word or word that is in the profane village that you use when you just got to express something quickly?
I there when you're driving in LA, sometimes the S word just comes out.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Just
You
happens.
make a wrong turn and you're just like, oh, I thought I was making a
Yeah.
shortcut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gogo, what profession other than your own would you like to experience?
Being a professional tennis player.
Wow. Okay. Gogo, what profession would you not like to do?
Mortician.
Heard. Yeah, heard. Gogo, when you get to heaven, what would you like God to hear? What would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates of heaven?
Well done, my son.
Woo! Gogo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your words. I mean, this podcast, your words weren't just for actors. They were for living beings. They were for spirits. They were for people to find their light. So many things you said. I'm gonna be rewatching this episode, listening to it before I go to bed. Thank God for you, Gogo Lomo-David. Thank God for you.
Thank you so
It's
much. Thank you so much.
it's too good. It's so good. It's blessed. You're anointed from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Continue to go. Continue to have faith. Don't just you, even if fear creeps up, you stomp on that neck and you keep on going. And that is the next step to the next step to the next step. Thank you for your existence. Thank you for believing in yourself. Thank you for coming on camera, for making these life choices that you are until this day. Blessings from now to your entire lineage, your entire bloodline. Blessings on blessings on blessings. God got you. Let him provide. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So good. So good. Hey, wait, before you go, I want to say thank you so much for watching this episode. And I just want to say that I hope that you hope that you learned something new. I hope that you gained confidence and clarity in the industry that you want to be a part of, and that you were able to hear someone's story and understand that there's multiple ways to enter into an industry. You don't just have to go to college and then you're in your dream job. There's many ways, many stories, many paths, and life is a non-linear path, as is your dream job or your dream career. So I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something new. And also, I wanted to say, if you guys need a podcast recorder AI editor, use this one that I'm using right now. It's called Riverside.fm. I'm using it literally right now, and it helps. Not only does it help me, I don't like editing. If you know me, I don't like editing. I don't want to edit. I don't want to edit. I don't. And so Riverside.fm uses AI to not only edit short social media reels and short social media clips for TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, Lemonade, any of them, magic clips inside Riverside.fm uses AI magic to cut all of my long form podcasts into small little clips. Not only does it do that, AI will also edit my entire podcast, which is what I'm doing, because you know I'm not going to be editing nothing. So if you guys are content creators or you want to start your own podcast, use Riverside.fm. I'll put an affiliate link down below so you guys can try it out. There's a trial, 14 days, I believe. And if you guys like it, continue to use it. But that's what I'm going to be using from this point on. And I don't use anything else other than Riverside.fm. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys want to use it, use the description. Use the link in the description down below. All right? Subscribe, like for more content like this. And let me know who else you would guys like me to interview. I would love to hear their story, their upbringing. Use Riverside.fm down below in the description if you guys are interested in what I'm using. I'll add the link down below to the pole light that I'm using right here. And if you guys want to get this look for any of your YouTube channel or in your podcast, anything at all. All right, have a great one, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.